All right, hello everyone. My name is Eduardo Warendane. This is CIS-5 online, C++, and this is my midterm one. So in this midterm, we were asked to write a program for a gymnastics competition. And in this gymnastics competition, they used one of two methods for calculating their gymnast scores. This competition utilizes either 3 or 5 judges, and we were asked to write the program to ask which scoring method is utilized and how many competitors are in the competition. Then we were asked to input each score of the judges for the competitors, and then average out the score and then display the competitor's average score, as long as like with a friendly message. So here we start out with include. So include iOS stream, IO manip, string, CMath, and CSTD lib. So this allows us to execute, help use certain variables and functions to call those certain variables and functions that we're going to be using in this program. So here is where we declare all our variables: our integers, our doubles for our fractionals, our string for our characters arrays, and a constant string, as well as a character choice, which is a single character, whether it be a number or a single variable. Now here for my error, and you'll be seeing that later on in the code, how each individual variable comes into play. For this one, I could show you error, invalid choice, please choose a given option, and then quit one. Thank you for using this program, please use it again. And you'll see, how that comes in play. So first, we'll start off with our do while loop. So this, what it does is that it runs through this entire code, right? This entire program. And once it finishes it, it will loop back up as long as this is true. So here we ask it, do you wish to run the program again? And if we pick yes, then it will loop it back and we'll be able to use the program. If we pick no, then the loop is finished. So let's start off with the beginning. So here, I see out, I display out to the terminal. I display a little message right here. It says, welcome to the 2020 Olympic Gymnastics Competition. Please select the number of judges that will evaluate the performance below. So now, here I added, and I made it a little, try to make it a little clean, a little fancy, so that it displays out really nice. And here's our list. So 1 being for 3 judges, 2 being for 5 judges, and 3 for to quit. So once we decide on how many judges or if we want to quit, we input it here for choice. So that's where this character comes in play. So we input 1, 2, or 3. Now, say I input 4, what will happen? Well, this while loop right here will verify that it's 1, a 2, or a 3. And if it's not either of them, then what will happen is that it will display this error code, and this error will say right here, invalid choice, please choose a given option. Now, until we pick the right one that will satisfy it, then we'll be able to run the rest of the code. Until then, it will just keep on looping saying invalid, invalid, invalid. So say, let's pick 1. Okay, let's pick 1. Now we go into here, our switch. Now what the switch is that it allows us to have cases, and for each case, we write individual, our statements, and we, write our code and statement and then break it so that that case is that bit and it won't, stack onto each other. That's how I know it. That's how I kind of envisioned it. But anyways, So case one. So if we pick one, it'll go into case one. So here, it says you chose 3 judges. Okay. Now it asks how many gymnasts will participate in the competition, and it ranges between 1 and 2. Now, here, right here, we input the number of gymnasts. So now, back up here, that's where I declared it. Number of gymnasts equals 0. So we start at 0 because we're going to use that for our for loop. Now, here again, we have to validate if it's between 1 and 20, or 1 or 20. So once it goes through this loop, say we put 21, it's going to say error. It's not valid. It's going to display that error code until we input the correct number. So we input 1 or 2. So now number of gymnasts is 2. Now what will happen is that this will loop. This will loop because we declare our I as equal to 0. So it will loop once, and then it'll go, because this will increment it, and then it'll loop again until it hits 2, and then it'll be done at 2. So now here, we display enter the name of the gymnast. So we ask the user to enter a name. So for short, we'll say Ed. Okay, input Ed. Now it asks how many. Now it asks enter a score between. This should be 0. I'm sorry. Whoa. We'll have to change all that on the fly. Anyways, I'll have to go back and do that individually. But it says right here. We're gonna have to input a score between 0 and 10. Now what happens is that same thing, for the first score, we verify it if it's between 0 and 10, and if it's not, we're gonna go back to that loop again. Once we get that score, say 10. Okay, 10 first score, and the same thing. We're doing the same thing for the second score and for the third score. Make it look a little cleaner so you guys can see better. And so there's 3 judges: first score, second score, third score. Once we input it and all it's validated through our while loops, everything's okay, checks out, we come here. So here we're allowed to do some simple arithmetics. So by declaring that our average score is equal to this expression right here, first score plus third score, plus second score plus third score, and we have to find an average. So taking the average, we have to divide that by 3 because there's 3 judges or 3 scores. Now here, our set precision is 2. So this allows us to the number of decimal places. So we want it, 2. And here it displays the name of the contestant and the average score. So once we input each score, takes the average, displays it. Now here, I have an if else if statements. So I said that if the score is less than or equal to 10, it will display perfect score. I'm sorry, greater than or equal to 10, it will display a perfect score. And then it will, as well as your, right here, this is your average, and then right here would be what it would display. So I say, if it's greater than or equal to 10, see out, perfect score. If the contestant gets an average score of 9 and 9.9, between 9 and 9.9, amazing performance. 8, between 8 and 8.9, excellent job, and so on and so forth. So that will get displayed, and that will break, and that will be done. It will be done executing that bit of code, and it will go down to the bottom part, because break it, go back here, and it'll ask us, do you wish to run the program again? If you pick yes, then it'll run the program again. So now let's say we do that, we run the program again. And let's pick case 2, which is 5 judges. And the same thing's going to happen. It's going to say you chose 5 judges, and then it'll ask you how many gymnasts will participate in the competition. But this time, we ask it between 1 and 50. So we put in a number between 1 and 50. If it's above 50, then it's going to display this error code, and it's going to ask you to input a valid number. So it has to be between 1 and 50. Let's display 5 contestants. So display 5. Now we have another for loop, but this time this for loop will be for the 5 judges. So if we put 5 contestants, now we're going to run the loop 5 times, because this increments it, and this says that we're going to do it 5 times. So we enter the same thing, enter the gymnast name, this score, they ask it from, again, I have to change this, 0 to 10 right here, 0 to 10, it checks it. For the first score, it checks it. If it's cleared, it validates it, okay, runs it, scores entered. Same thing for the second score, the third score, the fourth score, and the fifth score. Now, this time, we add 2 more variables, 2 more, a fourth and a fifth. So this time we'll be dividing it by 5 to get the average score of the contestant. Now, same thing happens here. I have another if statement. And as like I said before, 10 being perfect score, 9 between 9 and 9.9, amazing performance. And then I said, if it's lower than 5.9, then it's okay, just continue to practice some more. Something, friendly, a little friendly message. And here's our break statement. Now, without these break statements, if I were to not have these in my code, it will execute each code. So without this, I would just be running it all. I'll run case 1, and then we'll jump onto case 2, and then so on and so forth. So these breaks allow it to stop it and not run, each other cases. And so case 3, this is the most simplest. Case 3, you chose to quit the program, quit, break, and then it runs through this. Do you wish to run the program again? Yes. This whole thing loops back, and then we're back on the beginning at the display menu. And system pause just, pauses once you say, no, you don't wish to it, and then it just pauses it, and then you're good to go. So one thing I think I didn't talk about was that, I think I did, I said that for the for loop, so if I say we pick 3 or 5 digits, it doesn't matter. You enter the number of gymnasts. So this will loop, like I said, if I put 5, it will loop 5 times. So you'll have 5 contestants, and you'll have 5 different names and 5 different average scores, and it will all get displayed. But I think I've covered almost everything. I hope you guys like the video. Here, I'll scroll down a little slower just so you guys could see the code, because I know I think I talked a little too fast and ran through the code a little faster. But all these lines, it just displays, it's just being me, being fancy. Let me run the code just so you guys could see. Let me give a little test run. Okay, we're good. It's building it, we're good. So start without. Okay, so here it is. So it says, welcome to 2020 Olympics Gymnastics. Okay, please enter the number of judges. Let's go 1. Cool, look, you chose 3 judges. How many gymnasts will participate? Let's go with 21. Oh, invalid. See, it verifies it, invalid. So let me put 2. Okay, that's a valid number. Enter the gymnast name. let's put ed for short. Now it says right here, please enter a score between 0 and 10. 11. See what happens if I put 11. That's not a valid number. Please pick again. See? Now that whole while loop verifies it, and if it's not between 0 and 10, we'll have to go through the loop again and put enter a number that's valid. So let's say the score is 9.5. Okay, 9.5 is a valid number. Enter the second judge, 8.2. Now let's do the third judge. Let's give it a 10. Wow, okay. So the average score of the contestant was a 9.23. There we go. Between, like I said, between 9 and 9.9, you get amazing performance. And your average score for ed, see it's displayed right here. That's the name, and here's the score, average score, amazing performance. Okay, now since we said that we have 2 contestants, we have to enter the name of another one. Let's say Bob. Okay, Bob, let's see how you did. Enter your score between 0 and 10. Let's say Bob got a 6. Let's say he got a 8 and a 9. Average score for contestant Bob is 7.67. Great job. There goes, and this is where my if statements comes to play. Great job. You know, I could also add other things. I could say great job. You know, do better next time. But I just said great job. And now we're at the end of the do while loop. This is where if I choose to run the program again, if I press yes, let's do it. I get looped back all the way to the display menu, the menu. So I didn't show you if I input a 4, it says, see, invalid choice. Let's go 5, invalid. See, it keeps on saying invalid until I put an actual valid choice. Let's go 3. It says you chose to quit the program. Thank you for using this program again. See please use it again. And it also says displays if I want to run the program again. Maybe I pressed 3 by accident, but let's just say no. And so it continue. The system gets paused, and that's done. That's it. So I hope you guys liked the video again. Sorry if I talked too fast, or if I went through my code too fast. But here it is. I still have to go and individually do this, but okay. I'll see you guys later.